This is Cubby. It's Safari Audio's first actual instrument, and it's inspired by those plastic organs that a lot of us grew up on. And it's not supposed to be a programmable synthesizer. This is just a plug and play or load and play instrument. So the core of Cubby is that early digital vibe from the 80s. Was really something that a lot of dancehall, Jamaican dancehall producers were using around the 80s, the mid 80s. And it sounds like very digitally, but somehow cuts through the mix, and it is always a good vibe. So once I loaded up the Cubby, I see the default patch, and I see it's on piano sound right now. And then I have like 4 sounds to choose from. I have the piano, I have the flute, which is super cool. I have the fantasy sound, which is kind of a little bit more distorted. And I have the violin sound. Obviously I can play monophonic and polyphonic with each sound. I have the sustain fader, sustain amount, if I want to play like staccato, short, snappy sounds. And then I can play like longer sustained notes for, I don't know, for like a long chord. And I have the arpeggiator section, which is great. I don't remember having an arpeggiator on the original digital keyboards from the 80s that the Cubby is inspired by. And the arpeggiator is really, really simple. All you need, like really, really fast workflow. You can set it on or off, and then you can sync it to your host. I'm now running the Cubby on my Ableton Live, and I want to sync it to the tempo of my Ableton Live project. And now it's like 8 triplets, and I can choose which speed rate I want, all the way up to 1/32. And it's really nice. I can choose an octave if the arpeggiator plays 1 octave, or 2 or 3. And 3 octaves. And obviously the mode, if it goes up, up, down, or down. Then I have the detune section, the detune amount. It's really great because I think the detune is kind of a hybrid detune and a tape sound. It's not constant, the detune, and it makes it sound a little bit like a tape as well. I will play it without the arpeggiator. Like the vibrato or the movement the detune is doing is definitely not consistent and not synced to any clock or I don't know, like it's not just not synced, and it makes it feel more like a combination or like a hybrid detune and tape. Then we have the effect section. I can see the spring reverb, which is by default set like to 40%. I can take it, turn it up all the way. And I have the width, a more wider stereo image I can get if I turn it all the way up. And it sounds really big. Really nice. Then the filter section gravitates between a high shelf, which is plus 12 dB, and it makes the sounds brighter. And then if you want to make the sound darker, you can go all the way down to minus 12 dB for a low shelf. It is like an EQ, it's a low shelf EQ and then a high shelf EQ. Lastly, but very importantly, we have the speaker emulation. Actually, this was sampled from a bunch of real speakers from the original models of the 80s Casio keyboards. And the speaker sound is more gritty, it's more grainy. It's a little bit brighter and more distorted. The direct sound is cleaner. If I will just take the reverb down a bit. The direct sound is this, and then the speaker sound is... It's really nice to have those two characteristics, those two types of sounds. And it's just really a cool instrument to have an inspiring idea or a song starter, or even to replace some sounds that are not cutting through the mix.